right, so today we're going to look at a slope review. So in the very front of your binder, on your objective sheet, on your next lines, I can determine the slope of a line when given a graph, 2 points, or an equation. Okay, don't forget to go to the back of your binder, to your index, slope, add slope and slope-intercept form. And don't forget to add your page numbers. Remember, you're supposed to be numbering your pages as we go. All right, so let's talk about slope. Slope is the steepness of a line. So look at your roof over here. See how that's steep? That's a slope. See how that's steep? That's a slope, the steepness. All right, a slope can be positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay, well, let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so let's look at a positive. All right, positive. Okay, positive. See how it's going up as I'm reading left to right? And then negative as I'm going down when I'm reading left to right. Then I got a 0. See how it's just horizontal? So that gives me a 0. And then undefined. Undefined. Okay. I tried to keep it. So I want you to take a minute and look at these lines over here and highlight them. I tried to keep it as close as I could, but I don't have a purple highlighter. I did positive in pink, negative in blue, 0 in green, and I did undefined in orange. Okay, so take a minute and do that. Okay, now that you understand positive, negative, undefined, and 0, let's look at a graph. We know that is rise over run. Okay, so let's take a look at this. All right, so as I've already said, to read a graph, you start on the left and you read to the right. Okay, so I'm looking at this, so how do I know whether I need to go up or down? Because we know that rise is up or down. All right, so I'm looking. If I go up, I don't see anything. If I go down, oh, there's my other point. Okay, so I need to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I need to go over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now, we know that slope is rise over run. Now, we know our rise is -4. How do I know it's -4? Well, because it's going down, and we know if it's going down, it has a negative slope. And what's my run? It is 8. So my slope equals -1/2. Yes, you must always, 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 always simplify your fractions. All right. Now, when I do grade this, because I will grade it when I do your binder check, you need to have highlighted these items right here, or I will take off. All right, moving on. Okay, another way to find slope is by is when you've been given 2 points. And the way to do that, okay, so we know that slope is rise over run. All right, so when we talked about the distance formula, we talked about how it was just simply changing a location. So we're just right now just counting the change in location. All right, so if you take a look at this over here, I have a right triangle. And so from distance, we know that this right here is our change in y, and this right here is our change in x. So we can write this as change in y, change in x. All right. Or, as we already remember, change means to subtract. So we'll go y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. All right. So let me do an example over here. Okay, I'm going to do B and R. I'm going to do BR. I'm going to find the slope. All right. Now, slope is change in y over change in x. All right, so I know I'm going to do change in y first. Okay, change in y. That would be 4 and 2. So that would be 4 minus 2, which simply gives me 2. Remember, with slope, we're not dealing with distance, so we don't have to use absolute values. We want to know what our negatives and positive. We want to know what's negative. We want to know what's positive. All right, so then we want to look at our change in x. So that would be our negative 4 and 0. All right, so change in x equals negative 4 plus 0, which gives me negative 4. All right, so let's go back up here and just simply substitute. Let's make sure we got all this. You know how I love to color code. All right, so equals 2 over negative 4. Yes, we must simplify. So we're going to get negative 1/2. All right. I want you to do B and C. Do B and C on your own. All right. Now, it's the last thing we're going to talk about. So, the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is right here. Y equals mx plus b. Now, you need to be able to identify the slope. Remember, that's part of our objective, to be able to identify the slope. And that's the coefficient in front of the x. And the constant is going to be your y-intercept. Now, this is actually very, very useful. Why? Well, let me show you. All right, so if I know a point in the slope, one point in the slope, I can graph a line. Well, when I have the slope-intercept form, I have both of those. I have a point. I have the y-intercept, and I know the y-intercept is in this form. All right, so in this case, my y-intercept is 0, negative 5. So I'm going to go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 0, -5. 0, -5. Okay. All right, so that's where 0, -5 is. Okay, so now I know what the slope is. My slope is 3/4. So what do? I go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always good to get about 3 or 4 points. 5 is best. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's graph this real quick. Let's graph this real quick. There we go. Let me extend it just a little bit so that we know that we have a line. I missed it by a little bit, but going through the points. When you freehand it, it's a little hard. All right, so that sums up everything for slope. You're going to have this right here is your assignment. You got 18 problems. As you can see, you're going to determine the slope by reading the graph, with the points, and then you're going to identify the slope by giving the equation, and graphing it as well. All right, see you in the next video.